Hi, how's it? It's the Cranky. What's up? I hope you're good. So we're still busy explaining this phenomena, this thing that's going on, and my scalp was itching, so I scratched it. Anyway, whatever. I was busy in the previous pod. Please go check out that pod to gauge your bearings. I'm sorry, I just drank some water. Yeah, please go gauge your bearings by checking it out to figure out what we're talking about over here. If, however, you don't want to do that, it's cool. Let's just carry on from here. Okay, right, cool. So this temptation that's gawking at me, I have explained what it is to you guys in my previous pod. My family, right, has made a decision that because I'm the only one unemployed and they've been hurting me for like very many years, now they are taking away Wi-Fi. That would, under normal circumstances, appear to be normal because my mom is retiring and she wants to cut costs and whatnot of what it is that she spends her money on. But we all know that retirees, old people that are no longer going to a 9-to-5 job, the last thing they want is to just be left alone in eerie silence, doing nothing all day long, unable to even twiddle their fingers and thumbs. So therefore, the new entertainment or the new company of the elderly tends to be internet. That there are many things that my mom can cut, and indeed she has up until this point, but there are others that can't be cut because they're just as essential almost as like electricity and water. Very well. My mother has no intention of going without internet or even airtime because it's important to always have it because people need to be called if at all there is an emergency and all that jazz. So this is an individual that wants to continue to buy data bundles. This is an individual that wants to continue to buy data bundles. Never mind that. I have a little sister that lives here with my mom. She's like 22, right? And this human individual has a job. I don't know what she does. I think it's a call center, right? And she does not pay my mother anything. I'm pretty sure of it. And she has been one of the biggest and baddest beneficiaries of Wi-Fi in the household. And earlier today, I overheard my mom having a conversation with one of my other cousins on the phone, speaking about how it is that she's cutting Wi-Fi. And she has told my sister, my little sister, that she's going to have to make an arrangement with Vodacom or with whatever cell phone provider or telecommunications provider to help her out with data or help her out with internet. Okay, so my little sister who is employed, a travesty, by the way, given that I don't have a job and I'm a whole 17 years older than her, and my unemployment is entirely man-made, has nothing to do with my lack of skills, nothing to do with my lack of desire to work, and nothing to do with my irresponsibility, and all to do with a wicked country, including a wicked people that want to manipulate people using poverty to force them to do whatever they want to do. All these things befell me when I came to Christ, and I'm like, I see what you're doing, I'm on to you. Nonetheless, they could be less interested in what I'm on to because at the end of the day, I don't have a job. Okay, very well. So here it is that I'm unemployed. However, nobody else out here in these streets is unemployed. Just me. My family, my mom made a decision to get rid of DSTV after she saw the glories and splendors, or at least what she imagines are glories and splendors. To me, they're just a woke organization with silly entertainment. Netflix. She saw the glory and splendors of Netflix, of streaming type television where you can, it's like video on demand. It's what you want right now, and you don't gotta pause or wait and like predict in programming television for 10 years before you can watch the next episode of your favorite television show. It was better than DSTV, even the kind that you can pause and rewind and record. Right? I think it's called. Who cares? Righto. She decimated, killed, nipped in the bud her DSTV subscription. Okay? Because she now had, this beautiful thing called Netflix. She got rid of it because she didn't see the need to. No, actually she didn't get rid of it entirely because there are these like weird shows she keeps watching. It's like SABC, right? But she kept a very basic version of DSTV, like very basic, in order to be able to watch Skeem Sam or something. She's got very basic DSTV, not the kind you can rewind and stop and pause. It has a name. Who cares what it is? All right, because Netflix was this glorious thing that she discovered ever since my older sister, introduced it to us all. My older sister, of which the subscription of Netflix was transferred over to my mom's account. So my mom is now paying for a Netflix, and you know, with Netflix, 4 family members can be on the same thing, my Bobby. I was the first person to gain access to my sister's Netflix, and then my little sister, was number 2. When did I gain access to my sister's Netflix? One time when I was at her apartment, she entertained me by, you know, us watching something on Netflix, and I stayed on my computer, so I was still able, once my mom got Wi-Fi, to continue watching Netflix here. And then bandwagoning on it was my little sister, and then my mom, once she got introduced to Netflix, was like, what glory is this? She loved it more than DSTV, so she agreed, since my older sister was going through some financial problems, to take over the subscription. It's not even that much. At the time, it was like $170 or something. Might be like $250 now, it doesn't matter, but it's still a very small amount of money, cheaper even than the DSTV premium that she was paying. So she made a decision to do away with the expensive version, I keep forgetting what it is called, of DSTV, and settled for Netflix, so she can still watch Skeem Sam but also have Netflix running. And yeah, well, that's been something that has been going on for like a whole year now. When you, or 2 or 3, when you get yourself used to Netflix, I mean, everybody knows that social media is a drag. Everybody knows that entertainment is a drag. Who in the world is trying to withdraw when it is in their power not to have to withdraw? That's what I'm speaking about right now, right? So if you have gotten yourself accustomed to streaming on absolutely whatever you want to stream on YouTube, on, you know, TikTok, on the internet, the Google machine is your best friend because everything is at your fingertips. And on top of that, you can watch Netflix anytime you want to watch Netflix, and any plethora of shows is there for you to check out. And, you know, whenever there's a new thing, it gives you a little beepy notification and you're excited because it understands your needs. Its algorithms are operating on your behalf. Social media has been manufactured indeed to cause out of you to have an opioid addiction unbeknownst to yourself. So go on right ahead and allow yourselves, you purging beasts, you, because this is like the total purge. Crime is legal for a whole night, okay? Go on right ahead and purge, while also putting yourself into a drug cessation. Just stop taking drugs and cold turkey, I dare you. Stop taking drugs, cold turkey, just overnight, without any intervention by a doctor, without any intervention by a spiritual leader, without any intervention at all to enable you to kind of, you know, go through the shakes overnight with somebody holding your hand. Go, do you. I dare you. Cure yourself from the addiction of social media and Netflix with no help. With no help. Hamba, sisters, hamba. Go on right ahead. And in fact, you know what? I don't even think DSTV is around, guys, because it's been so quiet in the house. The current cessation of not DSTV, what is this, television right now, of internet, this is a mistake. I believe there is a month left, because this happened just ever so suddenly, and it also happened before the end of the month. When the internet started doing a glitchy thing, I imagine was a hardware issue. It happened around the 30th. May ends on the 31st, but on the 1st the internet was down and dead altogether. So I really don't believe that this was something that was supposed to happen yet, but I do believe it was supposed to happen in July. Therefore, there's going to be a correction. I believe that this is a thing because there is no way under heaven that they would have allowed for this to happen without there being contingency plans in place. Plus, I sort of kind of happened upon understanding, perhaps yesterday, not perhaps, indeed it was yesterday, right? That it was indeed not planned at all. It wasn't because I don't want to be eavesdropped on. Whatever. It was indeed not eavesdropped on. It was not planned because I overheard my little sister on the phone yesterday basically just crying and complaining to both my mom and also what I later came to learn was the service provider for the Wi-Fi. And said, but it's not working and it hasn't been working all day yesterday. What's going on there? So I'm pretty sure that this was not supposed to happen yet. I'm pretty sure it was not supposed to happen yet. So I got relieved yesterday because it's been gone now for like about 48 hours. It's been really very taxing. But thankfully, before that 48-hour season came, remember the internet had died. I told you guys about this issue with Wondershare for Mora in my earlier parts, right? How I needed to fix an issue with them. I had a remote session with them one morning, and the night before for like a good 3 hours there was no internet. The thing was beeping and flashing and it was just giving us all grief. So I prayed and I asked the Lord, please make it available, because I got a remote session with Wondershare for Mora in the morning, and indeed he availed it. So it was already glitching and twitching and pulling a strange stunt earlier, right, in the month, or prior to the very end of the month, which is when usually services would get severed for products that you have purchased that you are stopping, you know, the continual flow off. Very well. So I knew that there was an issue with it, likely linked to the hardware being kind of old or whatever. Cool beans, because we got this when COVID-19 slapped the living daylights out of everybody. That would have been like, what, 2019, 2020, it's 2023 now, so it's about 3 years old, and so it might just be hardware. Anyway, whatever. Very well. So I knew that the issue was not cessation of services in this regard, that I just gotta wait a couple of days and we'll be good to go, and in that couple of days figure out how to pass time. I knew that that was a thing, and indeed I confirmed that it was a thing when I overheard my little sister speaking with not only my mom but also the service provider on some, but like, you guys, you know, like, it's been dead for a minute, come fix it. Okay, very well. So when I overheard this, I breathed an unfortunate sigh of relief. And the reason why I say it is unfortunate was because I had absolutely no understanding in my core that it's temporary, that the day is going to arrive when permanently all such services will be eradicated from my plate. And I was like, oh my, right? Oh my. Except I wasn't like, oh my, I was very sad. Because what am I going to do as a dying old woman at the back of her mother's house without internet? They have shoved me into retirement, unpreparedly so, because that's not what I wanted to do. And here it is that I'm facing the life of a geriatric, living kokasi with no internet, dying very quickly. What's going on? And I was like, whoa, God, but like, the gospel goes out through this internet machine. How are we going to do the gospel without it? How am I going to find out what's happening with my brethren across the world? Where am I going to get current information? Where under heaven am I going to learn about Target hooking up like satanic wear for children? Who's going to tell me that when there's no internet? Very well. So that then was the circumstance that I was walking out very uncomfortably until it got invalidated, this discomfort of mine, by individuals lamenting that, but like, where is the service? Where? Somebody tell me where the service is at. And when respected and regarded individuals were complaining about the service not being around, I was like, okay, look, if the respected and regarded individuals are lamenting about this thing that I need, it must mean it is well on its way back. It's gonna come back. It's just temporarily disbanded for whatever reason. I imagine it might just be software. Not software, but hardware. Okay, so I'm sitting out here waiting, you know, patiently filing my nails. Literally, I'm sitting here waiting, patiently filing my nails for this to be fixed, right? And then I overhear a disturbing conversation, following which I was like, oh well, I guess it doesn't make any sense to be excited now. I guess it doesn't make any sense to be relieved now, because it is a, you know, like peace and security, and then suddenly calamity. It is a false peace. It is a false peace for me to think that just give it a couple of days, you know, let the weekend pass, and after the weekend, we're good to go, you guys. No, pointless, because I confirmed my worst fears. Today I confirmed my worst fears, that this issue with the software was just happenstance. This issue with the the hardware was just a glitch and a twitch that just so happened to happen at around the same time as a nefarious strategy is being plotted against me. I was like, what in the world is going on over here? Lord, oh Lord, why am I being teased so gladly? Why is this thing continuing to happen in such a fashion as this? Is very disturbing. Why was I made to feel as if though, it's nothing but a hardware issue when it wasn't? What was with the glitchy and the twitchy? Why did you make this thing glitchy and twitchy 2 nights ago? Why did you make this thing glitchy and twitchy 3 nights ago? Why did you do that, oh Lord? Like there's somebody walking around in the periphery and it's disturbing me because I can't speak with peace. I'm using a lot of code talk right now, as you can tell, because I don't want to be overheard. I don't want to be eavesdropped on. But yeah, anyway, let's just speak, right? I will continue to use my code talk until such time that said individual is in the house. Okay, very well, cool. So I went and I asked the Lord, hey, where's that because the whole twitching and glitching of it 2 nights ago, I already suspected that it might be because they're deciding to sever ties with this service, because I am always the target of strange, wrong, like really terrible decisions that are made, literally hoping to cut you off your own nose, that your face entirely might be spited, and the face in this equation is me, and the nose is them. They're hurting themselves in order that I might ultimately be the worst off, because I stand to be the worst off given my conditions, my circumstances, given that I am unemployed, given that I have got absolutely hands tied behind my back with no ability to do anything for myself. So if they severed this provision, this particular service, I would be worse off. But all this at the very exact same time, when people could just decide to be wise in how it is that they employ a strategy, rather than absolutely chokehold the whole house to an excruciating loneliness, to chokehold the entire home to an excruciating silence, to an excruciating pin drop in the ocean that you can hear when you walk around because people can't stream on Netflix. I dare you to go and buy data bundles and stream for hours on end on Netflix over a show that you might decide in season 1 episode 3 that you don't want to keep watching, so you're going to move on to the next one. So you're going to feel like you wasted all of your data on episode 1 and 2 to see where the plot of this thing is going to go. Whereas when you've got Wi-Fi, you can just dump shows on Netflix and move on to the next one. Plus, like I said, Netflix is this like funny little drug. It's an opioid. It's excessively addictive, and in its addictive nature and state, if you want to get off it, you really have got to go to a very excellent like rehab facility where they're going to enable you to not withdraw so badly. You don't just quit cold turkey overnight. Certain things you gotta wean yourself off them. You have to exercise some pretty excruciating discipline, and on top of that you gotta plan for it in advance. But there are drugs that you just don't need to be getting off at this point sometimes, because you need them since they're chronic medication for the condition that you've got going down. And right now the condition of the planet is called, I don't know, we're all dying, we're dead in trespasses and sins, we're going into the tribulation, life sucks, and because of that the moral turpitude of the earth is at an exquisite height. Everybody hates everybody, there's no love here. Love of many has grown cold because of an increase in lawlessness, so I'm gonna live vicariously through other people on the internet. Yes, this like internet drug, this opioid that's frankly just killing everybody all over the show, is frankly saving a lot of lives as well. It's enabling people not to put a gun to their head on Christmas Day when they're not spending it with anybody. The internet enables lonely souls to just feel not so lonely anymore. The world has made themselves lonely with this drug. However, this drug is also the very cure that of the disease that it has caused. The internet has caused humanity to be more lonely. However, it is also the cure for humanity's loneliness. So if you're going to cure this thing, you need, like, I don't know, Jesus, yeah, to come and reign here for 1,000 years and show you just how to live. Like, drop these phones and start talking to each other. Only Christ will achieve that ability to basically purge everybody off this, like, drug. If anything, the tribulation is going to be the greatest rehab from the internet, because that's going to cut supply of many things on the earth, including electricity. So therefore, internet is obviously going to fall apart in the tribulation. But in the run up to, it is literally saving lives. It is rehabilitating some folk. It is like an evil, nefarious pharmaceutical industry company that is deciding not to provide a cure or make known, market a cure for a disease, because it would much rather treat it. That's what the internet is like. It is treating diseases that you have, even though there is a cure for it. It's called drop the phone, drop the internet, and go into the wild and understand that nature lives, and so too does God who created it. Know and understand that people are indeed around you to talk to, and not so much your phone. You who is developing some funny little neck issue because you're always looking down at your cell phone device, very well. Yeah, the internet is an opioid, a drug created by a nefarious organization that can give you a cure, but it gives you rather a treatment, so you need it. It is a temporary fix. The world needs it to not have so many suicides. The world needs it to not feel so lonely. The world is in dire need of this thing. So when I have this like excellent, marvelous design and decide to extract it from just your household and live like, I don't know, in the Stone Ages, what are you doing? AKA has passed away until 2 days from today. Alone, who doesn't know what in the world was spoken in the State of the Nation address by our president, because you can go and stream on it, given that it was given at a time when you were at work or sleeping. How in the world are you going to be the only one that does not find out that, I don't know, Vladimir Putin has finally decided to press that button on America? How? Oh, how? You're going to be number 20 to find out when you used to be the first one there. This thing is addictive. That's what I'm getting at. It is so addictive. Indeed, it has been created so addictively by the creators of it to make it also appear to love you. Algorithms are freaky, they're eerie, they even read your mind. Some people have gone so far as to say that they feel like their computers have read their minds. That's what's good. They recommend items for you to buy, and they miraculously also provide you information that you feel you are in dire need of reading. You click on it and feel like it's fixing your wounds. It is your therapist. That is what the internet is, be it on TikTok, Twitter, or just Google. Even if you've got another browser that has nothing to do with these like mega maniacal organizations, go Silicon Valley in the United States. Bottom line is, it is the shrink you are in dire need of when you can't even afford therapy. That is the new drug that internet access is, and people are trying to quit it cold turkey, all to punish a disciple. There was this testimony that I was listening to back in the day of a dude that escaped the occult by the power of the Lord Jesus Christ. The blood cleansed him free from that nefarious time. However, in the run-up to, he was doing strange things, and among them were human sacrifices. He spoke about how he killed a whole bunch of people just to get to one Christian. Like, he would cause an accident, a multi-car pileup on the highway, insofar as there was a Christian in the bus involved in one of those accidents. Like, just to get to one Christian, they would kill everybody, knock everybody out like dominoes. That's the insensitivity and the insanity, therefore, of the occult. They're happy to knock everybody down, dominoes, allow many families to bury people on the weekend just to get to one little Christian. And the level of defeatism is so exorbitant that they do not, for the life of them, care when even it affects them to hurt other people on the periphery. Well, herein lies the occultic strategy of strange defeatist souls, wreaking havoc in their internet access across the entire household, hurting their own hearts and their own addiction, causing themselves to withdraw unbeknownst to themselves that they're not ready for that withdrawal, just to get to Karabo. Kwenzakala mahwat over here. Exactly. I do not know. But if you are by collateral damage going to afflict your own self just to get to me, you are employing an occult strategy. Do you understand? You are doing that which is insanely obviously the work of Usatani, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal but are mighty in God for the pulling down of strongholds. We war not against flesh and blood but against rulers, principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. Ants. We are dealing with strange little ants in the occult. That's what's good. And they make people cray. They make people so cray that they're gonna go shoot themselves in the foot, in the knee, in the thigh, in the buttock, and even in the cheek, just to get to the arm. That's what's good. Yeah, absolutely defeatist, but they're gonna do it anyway now. If somebody is employing so a strange strategy as that, and you cannot hope for the rational thinking of people. Why? Because when demons are around, they make Emily Rose crawl up a wall. Yours is to find another way to survive until this individual gets, exorcised by Jesus, or they fall down to the earth, earth to share, ground yourself. That saying in Clueless, until such time that they realize that this ain't working, it's freezing, this is Antarctic, I did not sign up to live, go Antarctic, I didn't sign up to live in Alaska, I didn't sign up to live in a snowy environment, frankly, just to get to Garabo. Bottom line is, I like it when it's warm, I like blankets, I like it when it's nice and cushy, I like being close to the fire display. I like being next to the fire, what do they call it? Fire place. Thank you. When you forget words because people are trying to make you forget words, whatever. That's what's good. Yeah, if you like your warmth, if you like sunny weather, you don't move to Europe. Like, you should stick around in Africa. But if you're going to move to Africa to spite a country in Africa, Europe is going to give you a frostbite and you're not going to know whether you're coming or going. Come back home. Like, hang out in the African sun. It's properly happy to be there with you. You've got melanated skin, so frankly, you've got like natural sun protection. Don't leave. Don't leave me, girl. But after you beg a person to stay where they want to stay, ultimately they'll be back. But not before first insisting that I'm going to spite Congo by leaving all of Africa. Like, no, you can just go to Zanzibar. But no, you're going to spite Congo. You're going to spite Africa. Because what is a Congo? What Africa? Like somewhere in, I don't know, like Italy. Go live there where they can't even speak your language, they don't understand what you're saying, and there's like a whole bunch of racism. Do you go live in Italy, hang 10, go say hi to the Pope over there and try and correct him with his doctrine if at all you want to be Christian about it, but like, understand you'll be back. It's time for Africa. Next part.